right now. Brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. We bring to you Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager. It's Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Hey, guys. Good to be on with you. Great to be on with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Obviously, I know a win is the primary focus going into the game against the Commanders. I'm curious, is there anything else in particular you want to see on Sunday to give you and to give the team confidence going into the playoffs?
Yeah, not really. You can talk about every phase. You can talk about the whole game and talk about the way you'd like to see it played. And see us be able to execute some things. But in general, we've had the opportunity over the last few weeks to work on many aspects of what we'll be needing to do in the playoffs. And so anytime we have the game we're going to have Sunday, we'll incorporate many of those. So if you needed some practice time or needed to hone up in a particular area, that'll serve that purpose really well. The key thing is obviously you would like to get out of there as healthy as you can, but make no mistake about it. This is a playoff game we're playing Sunday, and we have to win this game. And when you go into a situation like that in the NFL, that's a challenge because any team on any Sunday can do it. And so we've got our work cut out for us. That's the order of the day. Executing. They're going to be up there to stop the run. They're thinking we won't be able to run as well as we'd like to run. We're going to have to show them we can run. We're going to have to show them that we can get some of the stops and not have a repeat of that butt kicking we got up there the last time we went up there this time last year.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of the run, yesterday Tony Pollard said, I thought I would have had a better year than I am thus far. Did you also think Pollard would be having a better year than he is thus far?
I did. And that's a term when you say a better year, it implies so direct to him as an individual. We all know that that's just not the case. As far as him individually, coming off his surgery, as far as some of the things that he's been able to do this year, that's a little bit unfair to say, wish he'd had a better year. I wish he'd had a better year if we could have executed across the board our runs, a running game particularly, but also I thought that we'd have more production from him coming out of the backfield in the passing game. So all of those things you could easily say, well, I wish he could have had a better year, or maybe thought he might be going to have a better year. That implies our offense to the overall picture, and I think we all understand that. The facts are, though, that I can't tell you how much it means. When we lost him against San Francisco a year ago in the playoffs, that was dramatic. That was a difference maker. And we know what a team we were playing at that time against San Francisco. So can Pollard get back to a level of that kind of play like he was going into that game? I don't dismiss that at all. He can. And he's shown some things out there that give us his burst and those skills that got him thought as highly of as he is.
You know, Jerry, Mike has talked a couple times with us, Mike Bassick here. It's human nature. Sometimes you kind of let things slide a little bit whenever it's not like super meaningful. And I know you're saying winning this, getting the number 2 seed is important. How do you like personally combat whenever maybe things can be a little lackadaisical this week? How do you combat that with your team?
Well, I've absolutely, if I were ever going to bet, not on the game. We're not talking about it in that sense. This is an expression in general. But I will tell you right now, this team will be focused on every first down. It'll be focused on the execution of every play at all positions this week. I can't imagine any more focus on this game than any playoff game or, for that matter, championship game we've got ahead of us. I really mean that. Everybody here realizes the importance of getting a chance to have these playoffs and play a big part of them right here at our own stadium. We know what that means to the big picture. No single thing could be more important to us, in my mind, than to put us in a spot to play these games coming up, these next playoff games at our own stadium.
And, Jerry, we were, I feel like Lyle, we've been told, that's depth. You can't expect a lot out of him. I heard McCarthy talk about him a little this morning. And I'm not really sure what exactly the reasons were for the departure before, but have you gotten past those reasons, whatever they were? And is there anything motivation-wise that you're hoping to see from him if he's called upon?
Well, certainly. Boy, he was our enforcer. That was his nickname that he had been given when he was on the team. He's got a nasty attitude when he plays football, and boy, was he a great pick for us, and he did well in his career. And proud to have him. He's got a mother that's wonderful, and certainly been everything that I thought Lyle could be when we drafted him. On the other hand, we did make a change, and is it a unbelievable, from my standpoint, thing to have him available for us, have him right here, living right here, and be able to come in here and help us out if called upon. But he's capable of playing in games and capable of having winning grades in games. And, boy, that was a fortunate thing for us to get him.
So, Jerry, the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor ceremony was tremendous. You were out there with the Ring of Honor, legends for the Dallas Cowboys. I was wondering, from a perspective of your current players, how much motivation is it for them when they see just the ovation that those guys get, not only for being great Cowboys, but they're champs. They are Super Bowl champions, pretty much all of them out there the other night. How much do kind of Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, those guys go, I want to be one of those legends that is considered a champion in Dallas?
Oh, I think you can assume that is the case. I remember Emmitt Smith telling the story of when he walked out on the field there at Texas Stadium for the first time and saw that Ring of Honor. And, boy, he was a player of goals. He's a man of goals. And he said, I'm going to have my name up there. So it is motivational. All but a couple of those guys that were there the other night are Hall of Famers as well, the NFL Hall of Famers. And so that says everything when they hold it in that high esteem to be in our Ring of Honor. But I'll assure you, from my standpoint, they're up there because of what they mean going forward. Just the ambassadorship of what their names and careers and reputation mean. That all figures in, and that's why they're there in that Ring of Honor if I have a chance to put them up there.
We saw Troy Aikman and so many other great players out there. It was pretty amazing to me. I know this isn't necessarily the focus for this game, but Dak currently leads the NFL in touchdown passes. That would only be the second time a Cowboys quarterback has ever led the league in touchdown passes, behind Roger Staubach 50 years ago. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, I would say that, Roger Staubach at Canton is the most highly sought former player or coach, that when visitors come to Canton, they want to know where Staubach's helmet is, or his recognition is in the Hall of Fame. And so to think that Dak is sitting there in some of the same territory as Aikman and Staubach, that says it all. And of course, Dak has a legacy of his very own that has everything to do with what Roger Staubach told me when I was looking for a potential quarterback and for looking down the road from Tony Romo. And I said, do we have a guy that moves around, or what do you think? You have a traditional drop back passer? He says, well, Jerry, I don't know about either one of those, but he said, get someone that the players will follow. Get someone the players will follow. That's the most important ingredient I could offer to the problem. Having said that, boy, Dak Prescott is someone they follow.
Yes, he is. Yeah, we see it all the time. And speaking of, we got 7 Pro Bowl selections from this team. And I was just kind of curious if your feelings on the Pro Bowl selections changed since the game's not quite the same as it was whenever we were growing up.
Well, no, because I know what a really great recognition it is to be recognized in that way by a combination of your colleagues, your fans, your peers, your fans, as well as the management and the coaches around the league. Now that's quite a gauntlet of opinions there, and so when you're brought up, it's something. We had other players that are alternates that would most surely get play time if we don't end up in the Super Bowl and we have players eligible to play. And they're the pretty obvious ones that you might think out there that you don't see their names. So those don't get noted until they make room for them when somebody is either injured or can't play in the game. So it's even better than it looks with the recognition we got for our team.
But obviously the hope is those players don't even have to look at that field. They're looking at a different field, right?
Yeah, and again, you asked the question, really, that's the nature of the game because of the way it's played today, the actual game itself. And I don't think so at all. I think the recognition, we all understand we're unique. Every time you go out there, you've got injury risk, and there is a legitimate question as to whether or not you want to potentially have that kind of risk when you go out over a recognition game, a all-star type game. And so with as much at stake for the teams that are involved. And so I'm okay with what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it a entertaining presentation of those guys that deserve to be out there because of the way they play the game, physically as well as talent-wise.
Now, one of those Pro Bowlers, CeeDee Lamb, yesterday said his primary focus right now was helping this team win a Super Bowl. But then after that, if it's time to talk contract extension, he would love to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. Do you think CeeDee Lamb has shown this year that he has the potential to be the number one receiver in the league if he's not already?
Well, let me just say this. He has shown everything that I thought he would be. And you guys know well enough that you don't talk your business and negotiate in a public forum.
Sure.
And but the point is, he has certainly met the mark of anything that we thought he could be when we drafted him. And we drafted him with our first pick. We pushed aside a pressure player, pass rusher, and some other positions that you might have normally used at that level. And when CD dropped down there to us, it was a no-brainer to bring him on. And he's lived up to that. And I think he's just getting started. I think there's a lot more for him to come.
Hey, Jerry, yesterday the NFL Players Association released a list of top coordinators in the NFL, and you guys had 3 in the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams coordinator in the top 5. And I was just kind of curious and those guys specifically from your group, what do you think it is about, what characteristics you think about them that the players respect so much about your specific coordinators?
Well, I think when you win 11 games, 12 games, those are the things that go with it. And I'm not trying to take away anything from the individual aspects, but it's very predictable that if you have success, then you're going to have recognition of your staff, your coordinators, and then you will have them recognized to the point that other teams will be interested in them. That's just the deal. That's the way it works. As you know, there's nobody in this country that believes any more than I believe personally, and being promoted and being rewarded for your hard work and being rewarded for dedicating yourself the way you have to do professionally. And so I'm all for. I've been very active in my lifetime in the NFL, helping our own coaches when given the opportunity and deserving get advancement with even other teams. So I very much believe in that process.
There were names like Aaron Glenn for the defensive coordinator for the Lions, who also, played for you, and there were lots of different names on that list. Do you think owners and GMs around the league should strongly consider the names that were on those lists whenever looking for hiring in this offseason?
Oh, it isn't a should matter. They do. That's how you do it. And all GMs and owners hunt for Red October to find the best talent available when you have an opening. And that's as it should be. I've always I've never known it any other way. I came in as this past weekend indicated. I came in and made the selections of who I wanted to be on the coaching staff right off the bat. It was very much with the knowledge that potentially the Cowboys had one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game in Tom Landry that had been the only coach for 29 years. But I hit the ground running in this thing called the NFL, evaluating coaches.
Now, obviously, the primary focus right now is the NFL, but another big potential focus for you guys could be the World Cup. I saw earlier this week that MetLife Stadium in Jersey is going to remove about 1,700 seats in hoping of helping them get the World Cup final. Have you guys heard any update about the timetable for when y'all will find out if AT&T is going to get to host the World Cup final or perhaps even a semifinal?
Yeah, we're on that by the minute, if there's such a thing, certainly by the hour, by the day, by the week, or by the month. We're working as hard as we can to give our best presentation of why it ought to be here. This is as far as the world is concerned, this area that we're in, Dallas, Texas, this is our country in my mind. And this is the vibrant part of the country. This is where young people in this country and progressive people are aspiring to build their lives and their careers. So if you want a good shot of what it's like to have a North American flavor to a sporting event called these Olympics, we have got the ideal place in the country right here in Dallas, Texas.
And appreciate the time as always. I know you're geared up for the playoffs, and y'all are 5 wins away from being world champions, so let's get after it.
Boy, it sounds good coming out of your lips to my ears.
Thank you very much.